Hello Internet, and welcome to my review for Steins Gate Zero, episode 21. I know this is a little bit late, but I've been kind of busy the past couple days. But yeah, let's jump right on in. When we last left off, Okabe had woken up after his last time leap in 2036, because as we found out, in 2011 the time leap failed, but it saved saved data of his memories when he tried to jump back. And then he had lived his life all the way through to 2025, gotten captured, tortured, did not die, but instead was left in a coma, only to be woken up by Daru and Maho finding the time leap machine, building it again, and putting his 2011 memories into his 2036 body. Then afterwards, Ruka died in a gigantic barrier gaze trope, and so Okabe decided he would use the time leap machine again for a purpose. Before we get to that, and on to the episode proper, I'd like to remind everyone that my Fall 2018 anime review straw poll is still up and running. There'll be a link to it in the description below. Feel free to vote for it. Vote for whatever shows you want me to see next season. But yeah, on to the episode proper. The first thing we find out is that Okabe is going back to 2011. Instead of, my initial thought was that maybe he'd just be going back a couple of days to save Ruka. And that would again lead to some nice conflict between Okabe and Maho and Daru, who have gotten used to death and don't think that Okabe should waste everything for one person, even if that one person is Ruka. And where Okabe just wants to save, his friend. But nope. Screw all of that nice conflict. Okabe is going all the way back to 2011, which would take around 3,000 time leaps. Because somehow, the time leap machine can now take someone back 2 weeks, which is weird to me, because as I recall, way back in original Steins Gate, the reason there's that 48-hour limit is because after 48 hours, your brain state has changed too much for it to really be safe for you to send you back. So I don't quite see how any technological improvements could fix the fact that your brain changes. I mean, maybe because Okabe's been in a coma, his brain hasn't really changed too much, but then that would mean they could just send him back to 2025. I don't know. That whole bit's kind of weird. Also, I thought last week that Maho and Daru had just fixed the time leap machine, and that was why they'd only just brought Okabe back in 2036. Did I misunderstand something again, or is something just up with that? But anyway, ignoring that and if we ignore the incredible frustration of going back to the past again, or the present, I guess, we move on with the episode. Okabe goes back. Thankfully, it's not super rushed. We're not spending over and over again. He's explaining to Daru and Maho what's going on. But I do have a question as to why. So when Okabe makes it to right before he's captured by Stratfor, I don't quite understand why the 2036 Daru and Maho did not tell him about the difficulties that he would experience in 2025, that his capture was just over 2 weeks, and so he'd be fucked. I don't know. That just seemed like a weird little thing to me. But we do get to see what might be the second most bright spot of the episode. Baby Suzu, who is so adorable and who deserves the world and not the hellhole she was born into. Baby Suzu was great. But after that, Okabe is sent back to right before he's captured by Stratfor. And Amadeus and Okabe and all of Valkyrie set up this plan to have a bunch of different, Okabe signals so that Stratfor gets confused and that they can't find which one's the real Okabe. And as this is going on, Okabe has once again, he has the monologue where he's like, oh yeah, I spent too much time wasting, being forlorn and, rejecting the world and whatever, and it's time for me to, shape up and help people again. And that's great and all, and that's definitely an absolutely important thing for Okabe to have, but it feels like he's been doing that for 4 episodes now. Every single episode we get a new, I have to, grow up and fight. And, like, honestly, as much as that scene should be great, it just feels like it's getting kind of old at this point. But I will say, no singer gets me fired up quite like Ito Kaneko does. And hearing, I think it's an insert song, not the opening, playing over that whole bit where they're running through the streets, I was fired up, not gonna lie. I do love me some Ito Kaneko. Every time I hear any Ito Kaneko song, all of a sudden, I'm like a freshman, sophomore in high school again, watching it through the semicolon verse for the first time, being blown away by Steins Gate. So, like, yeah, I'm always down for more Ito Kaneko. And then, as I said before, with the getting 2025 point, the show really wastes no time to bring us back to 2011. Like, we don't even see Okabe actually escape Stratfor. We just see him continue to go back to 2011, which I'm still kind of confused that, last episode, I could have sworn they said that they had thrown out the time leap machine at some point because it, like, didn't work or for some reason. But anyway, Okabe goes back to 2011, and we have the highlights of maybe all of Zero at this point. Like, Zero at this point is, I hate to say it, but not very good. There's just too much middling in the beginning. Now the end has got to be really rushed, and Leskainen is the blandest villain in the franchise, in Steins Gate. It's been too long since I've seen Chaos Head or Robotics Note, so I won't swear by that. But, like, he's missing everything that made Steins Gate's human villains so human, I guess. But anyway, Okabe shows up at the Future Gadget Lab in 2011, and he's like, Daru, punch me. And I'm like, fuck yes, punch him. Punch him. Please punch him. And so Daru's like, what? Like, punch me. Take all your aggression out on my face. And Daru's like, fuck yeah, and he punches him. And it's gorgeous. It's the thumbnail for this video. It's gorgeous. And Okabe goes flying. I spoiled it there. Okabe goes flying. And as he gets up, you hear the cackle. No, I can't do the Kyoma laugh. I'm not gonna attempt the Kyoma laugh. But you hear the Kyoma laugh. You see that grin on his face, and HOUOUIN KYOUMA is back. Like, oh god, that almost makes all of, like, the middle third of this series worth it. Just seeing that smile on Okabe's face, it was perfect. A pitch perfect moment. As the gang gets to work to foil Leskainen's plots, because of course they know it in advance, including enlisting CERN, or at least Mr. Brown, the only real CERN agent who would, like, listen to them. Though I do have a problem, is that once again, Ruka is left on support. I figured after last episode, Okabe should, realize Ruka wants to help out more. And maybe, Ruka is not at the point where he can do too much, but let him do something, help out, call people. I don't know, just seeing Ruka, after everything Ruka said to Okabe in 2036 about always feeling left out and, wanting to be considered a lab member before he died, I feel like Okabe, when he comes back to the past, should do some of that for Ruka. Yeah, that's just another gripe there. But then they get back to the skyscraper with Leskainen, and the whole thing plays out, admittedly without Okabe. And it's assumed that it's Kaguri who shows up to kill all the Stratfor soldiers. Until, I think Okabe shows up, and Leskainen tells who he thinks is Kaguri to just kill Okabe and Mayuri and Suzu. And then she takes off the helmet, and she's Moeka! Oh, Moeka's done nothing all series almost. None of, like, the CERN rounder badass shit she was pulling. Which honestly made me think that she was not a rounder in the Beta World line, just due to, if I remember from the game, it was the fact that she didn't get the reporter job that made her a rounder, right? It's been a while since I played the VN, but I think that's what happened. It was after she failed, and then FB started contacting her, and, the rest is history. So I'm kind of confused that, like, when we meet her in Zero, she is the reporter. So maybe it was just like she didn't get the job, she became a rounder, then she got the job later on. I don't know, it's probably my best guess. But then, even with all that, they still fail! Like, give them a break! At some point, you just gotta let them win, okay? Steins Gate! Let them win! Please! They deserve winning at this point. You know, like, what do they do from here? You know, the time convergence is apparently centered on them, you know, explode on Mayuri and Suzu dying, which I have many negative things to say about time convergence killing off Mayuri again, given that everything that happened at the end of Steins Gate was about not letting Mayuri die. I just feel like it's kind of cheap and a bit of a play for drama. But yeah, that's Steins Gate 021. It's, you know, it's better than the lows, and I still think that Leskainen is just kind of a bland villain. He's just too black and white evil, you know? Like, I touched on it briefly, like, a few minutes ago, but what made the main villain in Steins Gate has, of course, always been time itself, and that's one thing that makes it so good. Another thing that made it so good was that the human villains we see, like, sure, CERN is, you know, in the background, maniacal and all, but, like, the actual human villains, Moeka and Tennoji, have always been so human, you know? You know, like, Tennoji says he would love to run away, love to drop everything, but he knows they'd come for his daughter, and he does not want Nai to live a life on the run, that she deserves better than that, and that he would rather, you know, kill a bunch of people than make his daughter go on the run, which is admittedly evil, because he's choosing, you know, one life over the life of many, but he's also human. It's super believable, and that's what makes Tennoji such a great villain. Moeka is, you know, broken and alone, and, you know, she then clings to whoever offers her that out. That makes her believable and human. And Leskainen is just kind of evil. He's the character that Okabe plays as. And Okabe is great because he's not the character that he plays as. So Leskainen, I just hate Leskainen as a villain. He's like, it was kind of obvious from the beginning that Leskainen would be evil. Or at least opposed to our characters. Opposed to our heroes, I mean. But I hope that he would have been, you know, more engaging than this. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for this week's episode. The Leskainen thing is a bit more of a longer conflict, with a longer problem with the series than just this one episode. But yeah, this arc is doing its best to salvage Leskainen's evilness. And maybe he turns out to be more conflicted than we thought. Who knows? I've not played the VN. There's still, I think, 2 episodes left, because the series ends on 23 for some reason, I think. But yeah, so I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed it and the episode itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe and vote in that straw poll, as I said before. Or, you know, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. And as always, people, keep kicking ass, and I'll see you in the future. Bye!